Episode 97. Hidden behind the rock, Han Li's mind began to race.
2 Foundation establishment pills appeared earlier. The temptation is simply too great for me. After all, isn't the whole reason I plan to join the Blood Forbidden trial to get a Foundation establishment pill? If I can get a Foundation establishment pill without taking such a huge risk, then of course I'll give it a try.
At this point, Han Li concentrated intently, observing every move of senior brother Lu.
If the other man showed the slightest opening, Han Li would strike without hesitation, ready to kill him and seize those 2 Foundation establishment pills.
At that moment, however, junior sister Chen began to show unusual symptoms. The venomous resentment on her face gradually faded, replaced by a look of intoxicated bliss.
Looks like the joyful union pill is taking effect. My dear junior sister must be feeling quite uncomfortable right now. To repay my dear junior sister's great kindness, I'll just have to put in a little effort. I'll let you experience the taste of ecstasy, of life and death. That should be a fitting way to honor our past affection.
Senior brother Lu put away the object in his hand and began to reach for his belt, as if he intended to undress.
Seeing this, Han Li's mind stirred.
If I ambush him right after he strips down, he'll be completely flustered. That should guarantee a clean success.
The more Han Li thought about it, the more certain he became that this plan would work. He focused his attention even more intently on senior brother Lu, his gaze unconsciously flicking to the man's face. After a few more glances, Han Li immediately spotted the problem. This senior brother Lu was fumbling with his belt, but he was taking an awfully long time about it. To this day, that belt is still securely fastened, not a bit loosened. What was even more bizarre was that, while senior apprentice brother Lu wore an expression of lecherous urgency, his eyes were clear and focused, betraying not a hint of disarray, and held a trace of a cold sneer.
Han Li's heart skipped a beat. This was far too abnormal. His guard shot up. He immediately threw his spiritual sense wide open, and his hand shot to his waist to pull out a water shield talisman, which he clenched tightly in his palm. The moment he finished, Han Li suddenly sensed something flying toward him from the left, utterly silent.
If he hadn't opened his spiritual sense right then, he would never have noticed it.
This filled him with a mix of shock and fury.
Without a second thought, Han Li slapped the talisman onto his body. A layer of azure light instantly enveloped him. At that moment, a green rope-like object came whipping in, only to be blocked just in time by the blue light.
Impressive. To react that fast, you're clearly no ordinary opponent. But you've been watching for quite a while, friend. Isn't it time you came out and had a word with me?
Senior brother Lu gave a beckoning gesture, and the azure rope flew back into his hand. Then, he addressed Han Li's hiding place without the slightest hurry. It seems they really did spot me long ago. Since I'm already exposed, there's no point in hiding here any longer. Han Li took a deep breath, stepped out of the cave mouth, his body shielded by a dazzling barrier, a magic tool gripped tightly in each hand.
It's you.
Han Li's heart sank a little at the other's startled exclamation.
That senior brother Lu only saw me once on that hill, and it was in the middle of a chaotic fight. Yet, after several months have passed, he can still recognize me at a glance. This means he either has a truly remarkable memory bordering on photographic, or he's exceptionally meticulous and cunning. But either way, this isn't good news for me.
In fact, Han Li felt that in a certain respect, this senior brother Lu was the same kind of person as him. They were both cunning, ruthless, and their public personas, one of brazen arrogance, the other of deliberate low profile, served the exact same purpose, a shield. Han Li did this to avoid drawing attention, but for senior brother Lu, it was a deliberate act to make others underestimate him, a mask to hide his true face. However, Han Li knew he could never be as shameless, as ruthless, or as vicious as his opponent. He simply adhered to a more moderate path, one of keeping to himself and avoiding trouble. Just as Han Li's heart grew cold, senior brother Lu's expression also turned grave, as if he had thought of something. His gaze toward Han Li became openly murderous, not bothering to conceal his killing intent in the slightest.
I was hoping to talk my way out of this, but given his attitude and cunning, there's no room for negotiation left. Only one of us will walk away from this. No point in wasting words. Better to strike first.
With that thought, Han Li wasted no time. He swung his left hand, and a golden steel ring shot out with an eerie shriek, hurtling straight towards senior brother Lu.
Then, with a flick of his right hand, a dark green gourd appeared in his grasp. From its mouth, 5 or 6 pitch-black spheres shot forth, following closely behind the golden steel ring. Han Li wasn't finished. With his now free left hand, he traced a quick pattern in the air. Several crimson fireballs instantly materialized. With a slight motion, he gathered them into a swirling mass and then hurled them all at senior brother Lu. Instantly carrying a wave of scorching heat, the fireballs scattered in all directions, hurtling towards senior martial brother Lu from different angles. For this attack, Han Li had employed nearly every offensive method at his disposal prior to obtaining his new magic tool, short of using a talisman treasure. The final technique in particular, the ability to launch multiple fireballs in an instant, was something he'd learned from Wu Feng only after expending considerable effort. His aim was to catch his opponent off guard and finish him in one decisive blow. The only reason Han Li hadn't already unleashed all his new magic tools was that he wasn't yet fully familiar with them. He wasn't confident he could wield them effectively on the fly. After all, their power far surpassed that of his old ones. But almost at the same moment Han Li struck, senior brother Lu was not idle either. His hands flipped over, and a massive green banner, about 10 feet long, appeared in his grasp. The banner shimmered with a cyan glow, and on it was the image of a ferocious, snarling green flood dragon.
Only now did senior brother Lu fully grasp the ferocity of Han Li's assault. He was not just caught off guard, he was utterly enraged. He had brought out his most powerful magic tool, the Azure Dragon Banner, with the exact same intent as Han Li, to unleash a lethal strike and silence the witness for good.
But I never could have imagined that from the moment Han Li appeared, he didn't utter a single word. He just launched a ferocious assault, and his moves were vicious, carrying the unmistakable air of a fight to the death.
Left with no other choice, senior brother Lu had to launch another attack. He transferred the green banner to his right hand, holding it single-handedly. With his left, he reached to his waist and pulled a yellow talisman from his storage pouch. He gave the high-grade talisman one last, lingering look.
He gritted his teeth and flicked it forward. His incantation tumbled out in a frantic rush. In that same instant, Han Li's steel ring, glowing with a faint yellow light, shot forward and was nearly upon him. Only then did the senior brother Lu point a finger at the talisman.
Windwall, rise! With his cry, the yellow talisman erupted in a blinding white light, transforming into a roaring white cyclone dozens of feet high. It swept horizontally before senior brother Lu, barring the steel ring's path.
With a muffled flump, the steel ring plunged unceremoniously into the heart of the cyclone, but it was immediately buffeted wildly, tossed end over end a few times before being flung right back out. As for the orbs that arrived later, they fared even worse, only able to spin uselessly outside the whirlwind, utterly incapable of even breaching the gale. Seeing this, Han Li's expression shifted. He quickly extended a finger, giving a slight tug. The few fireballs that had arrived last immediately veered off in 2 wide arcs, flying nimbly to either side in an attempt to skirt the wind wall and strike senior brother Lu.
You wish.
Senior brother Lu deftly formed a single-handed seal and pointed at the center of the wind wall. The gale immediately split in 2, each half darting out with incredible speed to intercept the fireball once more. With several sharp bangs, the fireballs could no longer evade and slammed directly into the barrier. The whirlwind merely shuddered a few times, then swallowed the fireballs whole, causing them to vanish without a trace within its gale. Han Li felt a surge of pure dread. Under senior brother Lu's control, the wind wall slammed shut, sealing itself once more.
You dare to show off such a pathetic trick? Junior brother, I don't know your name, nor your origins. But tonight, you're a dead man.
Then, with a sharp clap, he brought his hands together and seized the azure serpent banner once more, whipping it through the air with desperate fury.
Han Li was getting nervous. This opponent was far more troublesome than he'd anticipated. Such a fierce, relentless assault, and it was broken so easily.
Although the massive banner he was wielding hadn't shown any unusual effects yet, the solemn look on his face made it clear that this senior martial brother Lu's counterattack was no idle threat.
Looks like I'll have to use the talisman treasure. But as I am now, I lack the ability to refine a talisman treasure, so every time I need to use one, I must first secure enough time to cast the spell before I can activate it to overcome an enemy. My own defenses must be absolutely airtight.
With that thought, Han Li looked across the way. Senior brother Lu's green banner was now a blur of dazzling light, its surface erupting with a blinding cyan radiance that made the green flood dragon appear even more ferocious and terrifying. It looks like their attack is about to begin. Han Li hesitated no longer. With a beckoning gesture, the steel ring whistled back, halting a few feet above his head and beginning to spin ceaselessly.
Grow.
With a light shout, the steel ring blazed with yellow light and swelled rapidly, stopping its enlargement only when it had reached the size of a tabletop. Down it came, the steel ring obediently dropping to encircle Han Li. It began to rotate slowly, forming a massive protective barrier around him. Han Li didn't stop there. After putting away the gourd, he also deployed his newly acquired shield. It expanded several times in size outside the blue light barrier, hovering gently before him, emanating a dark glow. In this way, Han Li was now protected by 3 layers of defense. The outermost was the giant steel ring, the middle was the mystic iron flying shield, and the innermost was the blue light barrier he had activated from the start. With his defenses in place, Han Li finally felt secure. He took out the gray sword talisman, sat down cross-legged, and began the incantation, aiming to activate the talisman and launch his attack in the shortest time possible. At that very moment, senior brother Lu opposite him had finally gathered enough spiritual qi into the azure dragon banner and unleashed a torrential, storm-like assault. He stopped waving the banner and instead pointed its tip directly at Han Li. Instantly, over a dozen crescent-shaped azure blades shot from the tip, howling as they raced toward him. The blades were impossibly fast, crossing the distance from senior brother Lu to Han Li in the blink of an eye.
Wind magic truly lives up to its name. Its attack speed is more than half again faster than spells of other elements. If I hadn't prepared my defenses in advance, I wouldn't have even had time to react before those blades sliced me into a dozen pieces.